Greetings, beautiful beings. I hope you all are drinking water and taking care of yourself. I hope you're allowing the day to grace you with peace of mind and all is well. I'm Fatima, the co-birther and chief of love and healing work. Today, I have come to you with a live masterclass on love and healing leadership development and how to bring love and healing principles into your life. And then what is love and healing principles? I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Excuse me. Before I do, though, I always like to start our experiences with some grounding. So if it feels good for you, I'm invite you just take a deep breath, inhaling in through your nose and out through your mouth. It feels good for your body. Just bring yourself into this moment. Allow yourself to be here and now. Allow yourself to feel present in all that you are and all that is and all that will be. I invite you to allow yourself to do a body scan of how you're feeling in your body, in your heart, and even in your mind. And allow yourself to just give yourself some care and attention in those ways, honoring how you feel, honoring what's coming up for you, honoring any tension that might be in the body and why it might be there. And allow yourself to just inhale and exhale from the top of your head down to the soles of your feet. Mm. Allow you to check in with your body and see if your body needs anything this morning. Does it need you to possibly roll your neck? Maybe do 3 neck rolls on one side. Does your body need you to maybe twist your wrist or get some water or whatever it is? I invite you to just check in with your body and give whatever your body needs to you. My neck needed some rolls, so I gave it to it. And I invite you to take one more deep breath all the way up from the top of your head down to the soles of your feet. And when it feels good for you, I invite you to come back into the space. My body asks for some tea, so tea it is. All right. Well, welcome. Thank you for grounding if you chose to. If not, all is well. Okay, so who am I? Why leadership? Why love and healing leadership and development? And what makes it different than other conscious leadership programs? Easy. Well, first I'm going to start off with talking a little bit about myself and introducing myself and who I am, and why I am, and why this became a series and what I hope that you all will get from this series. And then I'll talk about the series itself, and then I'm going to get into the good stuff, which is why you all came here, right? So, I am everything my ancestors prayed for, dreamed of, wanted. I have a law degree. I have a trauma-informed background in yoga and just helping individuals move their trauma and their energy. I community organized for 6 years around police brutality and bringing more healing initiatives into how we advocated for change. A lot of my work, was in Austin, Texas. I did work around the Sandra Bland Act and helped lobby on that. And I helped create space for families who've experienced loss to police brutality to have space for healing and not just seeking justice. And doing activism work and being in the nonprofit sector, I realized that a lot of us don't have space as leaders to heal. We don't have space as leaders to digest and really look at what's going on. And having space to be seen as a full person is the goal. So love and healing work is a business, and we work to help individuals live a life without harm through utilizing culturally mindful healing and human-centered practices. And these practices aren't just theory, but also they are policies and procedures of getting your new hire and training, your employee training. It's how you engage in meetings. So, for example, every meeting, every connection, everything that I have, we have check ins and we have grounding. So, for those of you that are watching the recording or watching live, I invite you to just check in with yourself and ask yourself, what are you grateful for and what are you celebrating? I always like to give examples of this because I would like people to answer in alignment with what I'm actually asking. So, I am grateful um, for living a life of my dreams and healing enough to know that I can live a life without harm. So I'm thankful that I live a life without harm and that I continuously seek relationships and engagements that will not cause harm to me, but bring ease and pleasure and joy and expansion and transformation. That's what I call it, and that's what I dream. And I'm thankful for it. And I'm celebrating all of that. I'm celebrating having what I asked for, living the life of my dreams, learning how to accept and surrender in ways that give me access to the abundance that's waiting for me. I'm celebrating the choices that I make and have made. And I'm celebrating offering love and healing practices to you all. So I invite you to do the same thing and checking in. Um, what are you grateful for? And what are you celebrating? All right. So where do we start? Loving healing practices. They were developed because I recognized that a lot of people, including myself, we were leading from this place of harm. So we hadn't checked in with ourselves to make sure that we were full, that making sure that we had everything that we needed. So we're going into the world doing work as leaders, and from a place of not being full, from a place of not having consent with ourselves, from a place of not knowing what we need and how we need it. And so when we're going into doing work from this place, now we're engaging from this scarcity mindset. We are moving through life thinking that things will be always what they were, things will be always what they have been, people won't change, and we dare not to dream. And as leaders, people, and I say leaders, but leaders are anyone in which people come to seek advice from, guidance from, ways of being. If you are the person in your friend group that people are like, hey, I was wondering what you would think about this, then you are a leader amongst those that you call friend. And the question is, how are you caring for yourself? How do you center yourself in the ways that allow you to be full every day, allow you to move from a regulated nervous system so that you are making decisions for yourself that are in alignment with what you need and how you need to move, but also as a leader in the same way. What decisions have you made from a place of scarcity mindset? Of things won't change. This is how it's always been. And how often have you allowed yourself to dream, to take time to really imagine what it looks like to have something you've never had before, for your business to thrive, for your people in your life to heal, for you to move from a place of joy and abundance? What does that mean? And what does that look like for you? I know when we are culturally mindful, healing, and human centered, we are engaging in a place where we are no longer seeking to harm ourselves and our others. I learned what it meant to be culturally mindful through the work that I've been doing. I was in America Vista for 2 years. I lived in Wilmington, North Carolina, and I moved to Austin, Texas. I learned that people have different behavioral standards, beliefs, values, and morals, and those things impact how they see the world. And when we are mindful of our own beliefs, behavioral standards, morals, and values, then we're able to see others and how they see the world and how it impacts their lives. When we know why we believe what we believe, why we behave the way that we behave, now we're moving from a place of sovereignty. Now we're choosing these beliefs and values and morals and behavioral standards. We're not just doing what society says, what our family says, or what it means to be a leader, right? I know for me, I had to check my culture being beliefs, behavioral standards, values, and morals. Every time I decided to change and shift as a leader or as the work that I'm doing, I had to ask myself, why do I believe what I believe? Who taught me this? Are these beliefs aligning with my abundance thinking or my scarcity thinking? Does these thoughts, these beliefs, these behavioral standards, these morals, these values, are they limiting? Do they come with shame and guilt and fear? How am I allowing the shame and guilt and fear of these beliefs and values and morals to dictate how I move through the world? And then not just how I move through the world, but the advice I give. We are not two separate people. We are not our personal lives and our professional lives. We do not leave our personal lives out the door. If we are feeling less than, we don't feel like we're enough in our personal lives, we bring that into our professional lives, even if we think we don't. If we are feeling shame or guilt about making a decision, that shame or guilt we don't leave it at the door. How often have we had hard conversations with partners or family members, and that energy still be with us when we move into our day? If we don't acknowledge why we do what we do, where we got what we do from, and if what we do really aligns with what we genuinely believe and value, then we're continuously doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. If we're moving with love and healing, then we're moving from a place of self-reflection. This is all about how we move, how we think, how we act, how we speak, how the words we choose. Moving with love and healing is a consciousness that allows us to know that we can have ease. We can do hard things if everybody agrees how we do it. So the first thing is we talk about being culturally mindful. That's a principle. Being culturally mindful also then leads us to being human-centered, because now if we can see our own values, beliefs, behavioral standards, and morals, and we can then respect others' values, beliefs, behavioral standards, and morals, now we can see all the humans that our decisions are impacting and engage those humans in collective decision making. Excuse me. And what does that mean? Now, that means that we provide people with an opportunity to engage in how we make decisions. So if we have people on our team that are contractors, that are employees, that are stakeholders in any way, and we want to change things and make decisions that will impact them, we invite them to be a part of the process. We ask them if they want to be a part of the process. We invite them to give feedback and provide any solutions or any opportunities for growth, and we work on it together. I, as a leader, don't have all of the answers, but I do know that I have people on my team that can get me the answers. But I let the people of my team be a part of it, and honoring that they all have their own human experience and their roles and their positions as beings. And those human experiences impact how they engage in the work that they're doing, and provides them with wisdom, the wisdom that can help us as leaders do better jobs and contact and engage with people from a holistic place. When we are healing centered, which is the third principle, we are flowing from this space of knowing that everyone has a wound that needs healing. I like to say that trauma is a wound. We all have our traumas that are healing. And sometimes when we engage with other people, those wounds are picked at. Those wounds feel a little heavier than what they were. Those wounds feel like they may have been opened and oozing. And because those wounds are open, we tend to need the space and time, the compassion and patience for people in our lives to recognize that we are healing and we are allowing a wound that is deep to heal. What does that mean? That means creating processes, practices within the culture of your business and within your life that allows you to honor that other people have their own stuff. So instead of having conversations with people, you are asking people if they have the capacity to have the conversation with you. Instead of thinking that it's a priority for you is going to be a priority for someone else, you invite them to work with you on a thing and let you know when they can complete it. And you give reasonable timelines. Your priority may be a priority right now, but that person may have had their own experiences. And when we start pushing things on people, that's not healing. That causes people to be triggered. People tend to feel a little out of whack when they're being forced to do things. That's our partners, children, friends, family, whomever, employees, contractors. When we are throwing things at people without them being able to say, yes, I have the capacity for it, we're not creating spaces of healing. We're not asking people questions. We're not allowing them to check their own capacity, their own barometer, and see if they can even engage from a full cup. Which then leads us with having what we don't need, what we don't want. And most times we're upset. And it makes sense. But we're utilizing love and healing practices, being culturally mindful, healing, and human-centered, then it allows us to live a life without harm. It allows us to recognize what in our lives are harmful. What encounters with people are harmful. How are we engaging with ourselves daily that is harmful? Are we having too many meetings? Are we allowing ourselves to work too many hours? Are we not giving ourselves breakfast or lunch or food or nourishment? Are we not drinking enough water? How you choose to care for yourself matters as a leader, as a person. If you are not filling your cup every day, if you are not checking in with yourself every day, if you are not aligning yourself with self-reflecting every day, then you're allowing yourself to go into the world not knowing, not truly knowing what you want, who you are, how do you find balance, how do you keep your peace, how do you remain in a regulated nervous system if you are not checking in with yourself daily, moment to moment. Then your consciousness is continuously being overwhelmed with other people say it has to be. When we talk about being culturally mindful, we talk about the fact that most of us was colonized with a certain consciousness. We were colonized by whomever, wherever, to speak a language, to pray to a god or not pray to a god, to work a certain schedule, to have roles depending on what body type you have. We have been colonized to believe that what man says should be our first priority, not to look at nature, not to look at the collective whole and see how what we do impacts everyone from a holistic perspective. We have been conditioned to believe that what society says is true and that we should follow these politicians or these superstars as if they're actually loving and healing themselves. As leaders, we must be conscious enough to know why we do what we do and deconstruct any paradigms that keep us from living our true and authentic selves, because that's what people need. People need you to be your authentic self, to be your brilliant self, to be your amazing self, to be your big self, the person that dares to do something different, to make change. People need that. The world needs that. The world doesn't need another yes person. The world needs leaders who are making trainings and moving from a place that is regulated and isn't from fight or flight or freeze response. The world needs leaders that aren't allowing their fear to guide them or their shame or guilt to guide them, but to keep them wise. And the world needs leaders who are culturally mindful, healing, and human-centered. Leaders that are unwavering about making sure everyone that is impacted have what they need, including you. Leaders that take time off to refuel, to rejuvenate, to relax. Leaders that are conscious about how many days you can actually work before you just be like, all right, I don't work more than 9 days straight, ever. And really it's 7. 9 is like if things are, I'm going through my busy period and I need to make sure things get done. But on the 10th day, I rest. I don't do nothing, not one thing. Nothing my body doesn't want me to do. And that's usually nothing. I choose a day of a week where I don't respond to emails, and it's my day to do whatever it is that I want. That day is a Friday for me because I was born on a Friday. So I learned that, your day that you were born is sacred and you should do what you want on that day. So every day on a Friday, that's my day. As leaders, you have to have days where you take a break, where you give yourself what you need, where you allow yourself to value and celebrate you, where you do the things that your mind, body, and heart needs you to do so that when you are giving to people, you are giving the overflow. Every day, you should be checking in with yourself, making sure that you can still do the things that you said that you can do. And not have shame or guilt if you can't. It is okay to check in with people and tell people that, yes, you thought that you would have the capacity to do a thing, but life has been lifing. Things have come up where you no longer can do that thing. And then you honor that you wanted to, but you have to honor you first and the changes in your life. That's important. It's so important that we don't lie to ourselves, that we don't trick ourselves into believing that we have to take on more than we can, that we have to do more than we can. A lot of us have seasons of grief or seasons where we don't have the energy to do a lot of things. So we stack up a bunch of stuff instead of allowing ourselves that be the time where we reflect on what our next year is going to look like. And we don't do a lot of things because we don't have the capacity to. We can have a life of abundance and ease. We can have everything we need. The people that depend on us and rely on us, they have what they need from us. We meet that deadline and we not burn out. And our bodies not say, we're done. We can do it. But first we have to know what it is that we need, how we need it, so that then we can start telling people the way that we are choosing to move through the world. Because once we know what we need, it is our duty to then tell people how it is that we need for our world to work. And know that either those are your people or they're not. But as business owners, we don't want to work with everybody. We want to work with the people that align with our missions and our vision. I want to work with people who want to change the world, who want to bring more change to the world that isn't harmful to themselves and others. I want to bring more people into the world that take time to reflect and choose themselves. That's what I believe. I genuinely believe that we can live a life without harm. We can center our own well-being. Because when I am taking care of me, I'm taking care of you. Because we are one. I am not separate from you. When I am well, you are well. When you are well, I am well. And then when we are leading, that is always the case. When we are well, our people are well. When we take care of our people, when we care about the well-being of our people, they care about the well-being of us and the business they work for. I know I used to work for Apple and I used to love it. I used to work for Apple Store and our bosses loved us. We loved each other. We cared about each other's lives. We asked each other questions. We loved to come to work. We cared about each other, which made us care about Apple. Apple listened to us when we gave surveys and told them what we liked and what we didn't like. And because they listened, it allowed us to move differently. It allowed us to bring joy to our customers. And our customers really like engaging with us. Apple isn't unique. We all, as leaders, can take care of ourselves and listen to our people and create spaces where our people can be their authentic selves, or we can be our authentic selves from a full cup. We don't have to burn out. We don't have to work more than 9 days in a row. I really think that we should work more than 5. Excuse it, leaving to me 4, because I take a day off in the middle of the 9. We should work in a way that works for us, our bodies, our minds, and our spirits. Moving with love and healing principles and practices as a leader allows you to create a space without harm, allows you to create a space where people know that they're seen and they belong, and it allows you to be the best version of yourself from a place of knowing that you've given yourself everything that you needed today in every moment of the day. I would love to talk to you more about love and healing practices in your business and in your life. Please reach out to me. Schedule a time using the Calendly link in the comments and description about this post. Know that love and healing aren't just theories, but they're practices. They're practices that each one of us can commit to in every walk of our life. We don't have to choose. We can flow in love and healing in everything. And I hope that you do. I hope that you take care of yourself. I hope that you send yourself. I hope you know that you're loved. Have a great day.